I wonder if Bishop Robert Barron agrees with that. I know, Bishop, that before you were in Minneapolis, you were in Los Angeles. You know what's happening in the Catholic Church day to day, and the impact of Pope Benedict that Jonathan was talking about and Raymond was talking about. Is that the assessment that you would give?
I would say this. He was, I think, above all, a man of Vatican II. I mentioned he came there as a young man. He had a huge influence at the Second Vatican Council. And during the council, he would have been seen as more of a liberal because he was for the conciliar reforms. He was against some of the conservative forces at that time that didn't want those reforms. But then, let's say the years after the council, he saw a Catholic progressivism emerging that was betraying, he thought, the essence of the council. And then he stood athwart that. So the liberal of the 60s becomes more the conservative of the 70s, even though, as he said, my own thinking never changed. And I think during those long years with John Paul II, the two of them together gave a sort of definitive interpretation to the Second Vatican Council that stabilized the church. I came of age, in the period right after the council, and I remember balloon masses and clown masses and priests coming up the aisle on motorcycles. And I remember that crazy period. And I think maybe the great contribution of both John Paul and Benedict working together was to stabilize the church and to give a definitive interpretation to Vatican II. So I'd say that's where his impact is felt very much to the present day. Also, I agree, looking at these marvelous pictures of the younger priests, talk to priests ordained, let's say, in the last, even 25, 30 years, the influence that both John Paul and Benedict had on shaping their minds and hearts and mentalities. I did seminary work for a long time, and I knew a lot of these young men. Benedict was a very important player for them. So there's the future of the church, if you want. But I'd say he's a man of Vatican II par excellence.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing to me, but I look at this and I listen to you speak, and I go to Mass on Sundays, and we all notice, Bishop, that the numbers at Mass are down. The numbers at Mass across the country are down, and I'm wondering how the Catholic faith reconciles that. And I know that there are different opinions and some different suggestions, but I'm wondering if you think that it's following the path of Pope Francis or the path that Benedict and Pope Paul laid out. What do you think? If it's John Paul's vision, Benedict's vision, Francis's vision, where is the Catholic Church heading?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll bring all three of them together because they're all successors of the great conciliar vision, which was the new evangelization, as John Paul II put it. But Benedict as well, Francis as well, would affirm the importance of the new evangelization. So announcing Christ in a way that's fresh, that uses new technology, that uses language from our time, that appeals to the generation now that's feeling more alienated. But that's still the program, it seems to me, and it comes right out of the text of Vatican II. And it's been assumed by all the post-conciliar popes. So that's the challenge of our time. The way a number of us are using social media and so on to evangelize, I think, is part of that. Benedict, probably didn't know how to use a tablet or an iPhone or anything, but I think he saw the importance of using contemporary technology. But I would put them all in that category of advocates of the new evangelization.